So you click the video, you click the title, so you know what is going on, you know what's about to happen. Uh, I want to just go ahead and take this time to open up with this. I am an ignorant Southerner at the end of the day. I clearly am going to say some things incorrectly. I'm going to like not get the things right because I'm bad with words. You know what I mean? Like I can't stress enough how bad with words I am. I hope that context, sort of like makes this makes this video easier to understand because I can't stress enough how I'm not a like if I dislike somebody it's basically because of what they do, not necessarily who they are. You know what I'm saying? So sexuality, gender, religion, creed, place of origin, like skin color, anything like that. I can't stress enough how these things don't necessarily motivate my dislike for anyone. These things are just things that people just have. Like, but if you were to carry a specific, if you were to be a part of something and find yourself like exemplifying some of the worst things, about humanity in the process, you know what I mean? I always go back to George Santos. George Santos is a lying, conniving sociopath. He's a terrible human being who somehow managed to con people into putting him into Congress. You see what I'm saying? He's a terrible person, you know, and that has nothing to do with his sexuality because he's gay. It has nothing to do with him being a drag queen. That has nothing to do with him being Brazilian or anything like that. He's a terrible person. You see what I'm saying? Because for those who don't know who George Santos is, just look him up. Just look him up, man. I'm pretty sure as we're talking right now, he'll probably say, "I'm the guy who put the balloons up in the air." Like I'm waiting for that lie to happen. But I'm saying that to say that I don't see myself ever becoming like a famous YouTuber or nothing like that. But I do see myself actually becoming successful down the line because I am working towards it in some way. So like the steps towards being successful is going to be riddled with people trying to bring you down. So you're going to come across my older videos, and my older videos are remorselessly like just bad because I always had like specific points, commonly divisive points about women, dating, sex, relationships, or whatever. And I want to talk about that because I can't stress enough how that's the past, but I want to kind of just sort of explain what this is, what that was. See, as a kid growing up, obviously, I used to watch a lot of television. I've brought this up many a times in my videos. I used to watch a lot of TV, and TV, like in the 90s, early 2000s, really made it seem like dating was as easy as making eye contact with a girl for like a few seconds and her being immediately in love with you. Like she already is in love with you. It's just simply a matter of you, you know, making it into a thing. Like you tell them, like if you tell them that you like them, you've already lost. They're not gonna like you back. You have to sort of manipulate the situation so they can like you and say that they like you first. It was like a lot of weird, like clearly you could tell men wrote a lot of things because like as far as dating and sex is concerned, it was just simply the girl. The girl didn't really have that much power or whatever. She was just there to be the interest and then the future partner, and that was it. And I grew up I grew up watching that sort of thing. I can't even think of the shows right now. I want to say Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw around Lizzie McGuire, I guess. I don't know, but it was just like a lot of romance was pushed as easy to get, you know. So growing up as a kid and getting influenced by this stuff, I thought that okay, it shouldn't be that hard, right? I just go up to a girl I like, make eye contact with them, talk to them for a little bit, and they'll immediately fall in love with me. That was not the case. And what really kind of stressed me out, this was happening in high school, by the way. So what was stressing me out was I was getting picked on by the guys, I was getting rejected by the girls, and like all the other guys would get girls. And the thing that would kind of bum me out was Like, why? Like, do girls just not like me? Like, what's going on? Am I? What's different about me? I have a penis and a pulse too. What's going on? And like, it was really, really, really stressful, because like nobody would ever tell me. Like, back in the day, I used to get the actual reason why women would just say, "You ugly," and I'd be like, "Damn, no, I'm not." But then it was like, maybe I might be, because no girl is giving me no play right now. I mean, granted, I did have friends in high school though, and a lot of times they were kind of like, this was before the alpha male boom on the internet. Like, these guys, like, a lot of their advice would be, "Bro, man, if you want to get a girlfriend, bro, you gotta like whip it out." You know what I'm saying? You gotta whip it out and let them know, "Hey, girl, you want this?" And like, it was initially a joke. This was supposed to be a joke, but it's weird because every dude I encountered will open up with that as advice. Like, bro, you ever try like just whipping it out in front of them, just being like, "Hey, girl, what you want?" It's like, y'all advice is sexual assault. Why is this the opener here? What is going on, y'all? But obviously, as time went by, it became the advice was, get clothes that make you look rich, or like, lie to them, that sort of thing. And like, the thing that really kind of stressed me out was I would get these makeovers, and the girls that I wanted still didn't want me. So I would get makeovers, I would get haircuts, I would get all of these things, and I would get told all of these things that the guys would tell me, and those things didn't work. The stuff that worked on the guys on TV didn't work. I was becoming more and more desensitized. I was becoming more and more like kind of annoyed at the idea that every single thing that worked for all these other guys didn't work for me. So I felt out of place. I felt weird. I felt kind of, like, here I am getting picked on by the guys, being rejected by the women. I was in high school. I kind of didn't really have like a clique to hang out with until I ultimately did. Shout out to Savannah, Renee, and Matt, and everyone else. As time went by, Mike too. And but it was like, I really did kind of just think that I was some sort of outsider. I thought that I was some kind of like a renegade, thinking, "Yeah, I'm the outsider, I'm the lone wolf." And that phase of my life left as soon as it showed up, because like, the renegade and the outsider is almost always pushed as some sort of tough guy, and I was not a tough guy in any regard. Like, I would always, like, if you lose one fight in high school, you know what I'm saying, that's the only thing that they're gonna remember you for. So I would just remember thinking to myself, yeah, I can't get into a fight with anyone because they would murder me. um I was a lot smaller back then. But it was just that, you know obviously, because of all these things kind of just sort of like being molded together with my old perspective of dating and sex and all these other things, with all this kind of like just sort of manifesting itself into my way of thinking, I just immediately, instead of like realizing maybe I need to use this as a time for self-reflection and just sort of focus on myself and realize maybe it's a good thing that these girls don't want me, or maybe, like, I should focus on things that I should use to help myself with, or something like that. Rather than go into this perspective, I went into this perspective of, oh, these women, all they want is they just want jerks, and these women, it's all their fault 'cause they don't, like, I'm their friend, why won't they pick me, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm awesome, I'm great too, you know what I'm saying? It became that perspective of thinking. I was like I said, I had to have been like 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there. I don't think I was an adult yet. And I was having these ideas about, like, like, women don't know what they want. You know what I'm saying? And like, you should want me. I'm better than those guys. And it's like stuff like that. And it was really stupid to think about, like, now, because like it's just not that. Like, my thinking about that sort of concept is like complete opposite. And the reason why was because, the more I started to pay attention to like what counted as like being a man and stuff like that, the less sense it made. because like at some point I realized I was trying to like learn from my friends who got a lot of girlfriends, and it's like now they're kind of miserable and they're complaining about child support and stuff like that. And I tried to like go to the internet to just basically find my community of guys who like I didn't necessarily care about like getting a girlfriend as much as I wanted to find out if I was the only one who just couldn't get girls, right? And I would go to these communities, and I would think, like I was going through the phase of, I want to just learn stuff, and I want to just, like I want to just like, start building robots, or start, like trying to find cool things to do in absence of me, being single. Like, I want to use me being single as time to focus on cool things. And I would go in these communities, and these guys, and it would just, these communities would just be guys complaining about women that didn't want them back then, or blah 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 women, blah 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 women should, blah 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 women should. And this was like MySpace days too, so like this was always a thing. It was just like a really small minuscule community though. And like, and I got sucked out of wanting to know things about, like, wanting to know things about cool stuff. And I just started thinking to myself, okay, this is what guys like me are like. I should try to be one with them. I should try to be part of the tribe or whatever. And that didn't last long, because I started asking questions that these guys just did not want to answer. Like guys, can we talk about something other than women? Like, like I get it, women are bad. Let's have a conversation about something else now. Or what would happen is that like there would be guys in that community who would get a girlfriend and still be in that community acting like rah 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 women blah 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 women blah 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 my girlfriend blah blah blah. It's like, dude, why are you still here? What the hell? So the community and the concept became more and more confusing as time went by. So I just, like these guys would come, and it's like, I started getting more upset, because it was like I felt even more out of place, because now I'm in a community that feels like, I feel like, betrayed their own concept, because, oh wow, how y'all got a girlfriend up in here? Like, you guys got guys who aren't even single in this group, and all they do is complain about women. Like, this makes no sense. What else? Like, what is the point of this group now? It's like, well, you're asking too many questions, buddy. Stuff like that. Then as time went by, I thought I was asexual, because I thought that, like, I thought I was asexual because I didn't have sex that often, if at all. Like, like women were just not interested in me. And, like I was making peace with that, but I figured because women aren't interested in me, that makes me asexual. And it's like, no, that's not the case. And once again, another case like with the asexual group, it was like just people who would have sex with their partners and stuff like that, and they would be in this group just like, yeah, God, yeah, sex kind of blah blah blah, sex isn't that great, blah blah blah, but me and my spouse, blah 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 blah. Sometimes we have sex, blah 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 blah, but I'm still asexual, blah. And I'm just like, okay, this feels confusing. Like I don't know what's going on anymore. So I realized while being in that group that it wasn't that I was asexual as much as it was just like I wanted to have sex, and I was just like not going to. And I just didn't want to come to grips with that. And when I ultimately did come to grips with that, I came across the idea of the MGTOW guys, the MGTOW guys. Now, the thing about the MGTOW guys is I'm thinking to myself, okay, these guys are the monks. These guys are, they're going to sit in the mountains of society, kind of just sort of, like just take time to focus on themselves and use that focus to better themselves in some fashion. Like, I don't know, maybe these guys are like farmers, or like, guys who deal with science, or guys who, like do cool stuff on the side, you know what I'm saying? But because they, once again, they got, once again, they don't have a girlfriend to, like to waste their focus on, so they can now focus on other things. And once again, I need for y'all to understand, this was how I was thinking back then about these concepts. And like I go on the MGTOW forums, and there's women should, women dating, sex, marriage. Women should do, like, if women did this more often, then we would, I would want to marry them more. And I'm just like, oh my God, Do y'all do anything besides talk about women, dating, sex, and relationships? What is going on? Like, why? Like, do y'all have goals? Do y'all have dreams? Do y'all actually like doing anything? What are some of y'all hobbies? Do y'all have hobbies? You're asking too many questions. So that ultimately became a, it's like that ultimately became, it was a recurring theme. It was just like, the more I started getting into these communities and more I started kind of getting into these things, it was like, everything that they would talk about was sort of like just, it's like, because I was at that point now where I was just like, I'm tired of gender motivated discussions. Can we have a conversation about something that isn't gender motivated? And I realized I'm asking guys this who created the community because women didn't want them. So, like it became less, and like some of these guys would be like, yo, you need to listen to, okay, first off, I'm not gonna listen to nobody that ain't my parent. I'm being black and southern, man, I ain't listening to nobody except my mama. You ain't my mom, you ain't my daddy, you ain't gonna talk to me no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I was that guy too. So it was like you couldn't really, like, so people would like try to tell me, oh, Kevin Samuels this, Andrew Tate that, or Jordan Peterson this. I'm like, I don't care about these freaking people, man. Like this, it's like you're gonna seriously sit here and tell me that you're gonna listen to somebody tell you how to be a man. It's like before you actually, like, the thing that really kind of stressed me out is you're gonna literally listen to somebody tell you how to be the gender that you were already saying that you were before you encountered these people. What's going on? I'm confused. You already know that you're a man, but this guy's gonna tell you how to be an even more man. What? That's dumb. It's like the more I realized that the more questions I started to ask, the more dumber these concepts seem to me, and the more dumber the concepts seem, the easier it was for me to just not want to even, like, it became less of I might understand what they're saying, and it became more of these guys just sound ridiculous now. You know what I mean? Because, like, what? Now, I'm not saying this to say that, like, people who. Now, I want y'all to understand real quick. You probably might have watched this video all the way through, and you probably might have heard the asexual stuff. And I'm not saying that people who. I'm not saying that people who are asexual, who are in, like, relationships and dating and stuff like that, they're not asexual. I'm not saying that. But, like, I'm just saying that that's kind of what got me out of these, like, subcultures. Like, I was trying to find my tribe. I was trying to find people who I um have conversations. I was trying to find people to have these conversations with, because I didn't know where I was on things. I was trying to find people to maybe sort of help me understand things, and in the process of me finding people to help me understand things, it became more complicated, more confusing, more, like, it was just, I was getting more questions than answers, and like, things just started to, like, make less sense. And rather than me trying to find my tribe of people to sort of, like, conform to, I just said I'll just stick to my own perspectives. Like, I would rather be 100% wrong all the time and follow my own volition than, like, follow somebody else, you know what I'm saying, who could be just as wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that guy's an idiot. That guy's he's not a great person. Like right, every time you find yourself trying to follow a concept or follow someone, something goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now you find out that, like, I mean, isn't Andrew Tate, like, in Romania right now because of trafficking charges? The Republican Party in America is, like, evil as hell. The Democratic Party is lazy. The Libertarian Party apparently can't tell you reason why they don't believe in age of consent. It's just like all the, like, the moment that you find yourself trying to follow a concept, something, you find yourself seeing something about it, which is ultimately why I say I never really want, like, people to follow me or blindly support me, because, like, I get it wrong sometimes. I mess up. Just like, if I say something that you agree with, that's cool, but don't agree with everything I say, because I get it wrong. Like, I'm speaking personally here. In retrospect, though, the more I started to try to find out, what I could be, the more I started finding out what I wasn't. And it's now easier for me to kind of look at these concepts and these people and these this belief system and just be like, this isn't for me. I know, like, I'm not an attractive man, but I do have a girlfriend now, and like, and it's like, and I'm not saying that to say that you had to only be attractive to get a girlfriend or you had to be unattractive. It's just the fact is that, like, if if your man classes involve talking about women in any way, then you have to start asking questions. Like, is this really going to teach me how to be a better man, or is this just helping me hate women? You know, and it's like, it's dumb. Also, while I am on this, I figured that was a good time for me to ask this question real quick, because I get this all the time. Like, dudes be like, "You're a soy boy," which is like a right wing term. Why are you agreeing with right wingers? But, like, they would say stuff like, "Oh, well, you just respecting women, because you respect the women because you think you're gonna have sex with them." Allow me to ask this one question: if respecting women and being nice to them and if treating a woman like a human being is the thing that is supposed to have you have sex with them, then why isn't every dude doing it? You're asking too many questions. Y'all have a good one. Love and peace.